Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Devils Lair. This is a new podcast that we're putting together here at Anero Media. I'm your host, Randy Meadows.
I'm Todd Gann.
His co-host, Todd Gam. We're going to bring this to you live tonight. The Devils Lair is a podcast that's put together by Todd, myself, and like I said, with Anero Media. We're looking to enhance the persona and the experience of Tift County Athletics. We're here to support them, and we're here to just build them up and kind of praise their body of work that they're doing right now, and obviously get out to the community and let everybody know that Tift County Athletics are here to stay, and there's some good things going on, and some people may or may not know about that. So, Todd, what's your input?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Randy. I mean, we got so many things going on that are just great, and we want to try to promote it. We got a lot of great athletes in our community, and they're good kids, they're smart kids, and we just want to promote them and lift them up and do everything we can to let the public know what's going on and the good things that are going on.
Yep, that's right. So there's going to be a lot of good things going on. We'll be live here on the Anero Media every Wednesday at 7. We'll try not to run. We're going to try to keep it around 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the weeks and whatnot. And we just invite you all to tune in. We'll be on YouTube. You can look at the bottom down here and see a lot of our info. Please interact with us. Get in contact with us through Facebook, Twitter, email. Phone lines, I don't think we got a phone line up here yet, but we've got a phone number, 313-718-2557. Give us feedback. That's the only way we're going to get better, and that's the only way that we can mold this show towards you guys. So with that said, we're going to break this thing up into 4 quarters. Is typically how we will do it, just like a football game, so to speak. It's football season, and we're starting in the middle of the season, so we're going to start quarter 1, Todd, with a rundown of the games so far this year.
That's right. Like Randy said, we are in the middle of the season. Certainly, we wish we could have kicked this off a little earlier, but we're going to kick it off tonight, talk about what's happened so far, and kind of give it a little review here. Of course, we started out August 17th. We had a scrimmage here in Tifton with Monroe, and unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate. We only got a half of a game in over there, and before lightning stopped the game that night. But we came out and first played one half of a football game and wound up a little short, 33-29 in a scrimmage game. But, a lot of positives in that game, and folks got to see Blue Devils in action for the first time under Coach John Reed.
Yeah. Well, John Reed, I mean, he's obviously doing some good things. He's got some kids and some parents buying into what he's doing, and that's very important to Tift County right now. We've got to buy into what this guy is selling us. And I say selling, being in the car business for most of my life, typically we sell people. But this isn't something that has to be sold, man. This is something we've got to just wrap our arms around and just go with and kind of nurture this thing, because it's his program. And a few weeks ago, man, everybody was bought into this program, and it was just, man, there was such a buzz in Tift County like I haven't seen in years.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so excited. It made me, as a pillar of the community, excited. My kids excited. My wife was even excited. She could care less about football. So, and that's what this show's about, man. We're gonna get this thing, and we want to keep that buzz going.
That's exactly right.
So, Monroe is a very good team.
Oh, they are. You can't discount them. I mean,
Not at all.
I believe they made it second, third round in the playoffs last year. And,
they did.
They've had a good season this year, and certainly a good team when we went over there. And it was a hot Saturday night, and finally the sun went down a little bit, cooled off a little bit. But it was a good game. We had a few mistakes, and that's one of the things Coach Reed wanted to see is what he's got to work with, what things he needed to improve on, and that gave him a good look at the team. And certainly was able to go back to practice next week and had a great week of practice, and kind of worked towards that first home game. Brought Westover in on September 1st, and kind of got the ball running that week.
Westover has a quarterback in T.J. Cromer, who used to be here at Tifton, oddly enough, and so it was kind of a homecoming of sorts with him at quarterback. And I've seen him play another game, and I'll see him play in a couple of weeks another game.
Right.
But he played very well, and even though he's not a Blue Devil anymore. If he's not with us, he's obviously against us. But it was good to see him playing well, even if it was for another school. He used to be one of us, so yeah,
That's right.
I guess we could take that positive out of it. But Westover is a solid football team as well, and they move the ball up and down the field really well.
They do, and and I'm gonna correct a mistake. I actually gave the wrong score for the scrimmage game.
Right.
The score actually, we did lose to Westover in that opener, 33-29, but it was a good, hard fought, close game all the way through.
Certainly, and being with a new coach, you've got young kids, new system, new coaching staff. I mean, you're going to go through bumps and bruises, and that's what we have to keep in perspective right here, is that we are a young team, young program, and realistically, we're not supposed to win a whole lot of games this year. As a matter of fact, we've won more this year than I really thought we would.
That's right.
And they are, I'm super proud of them right now if they don't win another one. But,
right.
There's a lot of football left.
Well, Randy, the thing you got to think about, too, you think about the quality of football in South Georgia.
Whew.
A lot of teams in South Georgia, they're ranked high in the state. Some of them are ranked nationally, so the competition is extremely tough down here in South Georgia.
Oh, certainly. And if, as everybody knows, we're the SEC of high school football in the state of Georgia.
Right.
That's how we roll down here.
That's exactly right.
So, a lot of good things happening in Tift County with their athletics right now. So, after the Westover game, they went on the road to Houston County.
That's right.
And walloped them 56-7.
Man, that's a great game.
Superman Rashad Daniels had like 4,000 yards rushing or something crazy like that.
3,999. I think. It's a crazy number.
That's right. He went crazy on them, and he ran well against Westover.
He did. He had a good game but yeah, when we got up to Houston County, he was just a machine.
He was a machine. That's right.
Couldn't stop him, and fell just a few yards short of all-time school record for a single game. I think. Perhaps if Coach Reed may have realized that, he may have kept him in the game a little bit further. I don't think he played maybe 2 or 3 plays in the whole second half.
Yeah, well, got a kid running the ball like that in your second game of the year, you don't want to take no chances with him. So
that's exactly right. Non-region game, so you're up pretty good in the score. You kind of coast the rest of the way on that, I believe.
Yep, that's right. So the following week looks like Worth County came into town. That's a nice rivalry. I like it.
It's been an ongoing rivalry for several years, off and on, and another great game.
Another great game, yeah. The Devils win that one 33-0. So they're playing some solid defense at this point, and some things are clicking. Man, they barely lose to Westover. They come in and blow out Houston County and Worth, so to speak. 33-0 is a blowout in high school football.
That's exactly right.
So they got things rolling. So, and then next comes to town is Thomas County Central. Wow, these guys are good. They really are.
They play some phenomenal football.
Yeah, they have a good program down there and have had a good program for years. And
that's right.
I know at one time everybody's wanting TCC to come into our region.
That's exactly.
And I think I would like to see that too. I don't know how successful they would be in our region, to be honest with you. Just personally,
once you come in that 6A region, the teams we got, Lowndes, Valdosta, Colquitt, and then of course the powerhouse Camden County.
Hey, don't discount Douglas, Coffee County this year, man. They're strong.
They're strong too. They may be the sleeper in the region this year.
Yeah, I think they might be. So there's a lot of things going on, and just if they add a TCC, which I don't think they are anytime soon.
So
but I know for a while that's what people wanted. Why aren't they playing? At the time it was 4A, and obviously we're now up to 6A. So
that's right.
Why aren't they playing and that kind of stuff? But they are a phenomenal program, and they do things the right way down there in Thomasville.
Had a lot of great players come out of that community and go on and do some big things.
Yeah, a handful of NFLers coming out of there.
Absolutely. So
Charlie Ward was the best quarterback ever to play point guard in the NBA, and he's my favorite all time college quarterback is Charlie Ward.
Wow,
I loved watching him, man. Yeah. He was that kind of a player.
That's
so
right. A lot of tradition there.
Tons of tradition. So Thomas County Central rolled in September 21st, which was homecoming.
That was homecoming.
Yeah, homecoming game. We was on the bad end of that, 34-14.
Yeah, we were. They play a veer offense down there, and our defense is just they struggled with it a little bit. It was a tough game. Kids played hard. They played the whole game. You got to give them credit. They played a great game. Played the whole game. Just hard to stop those folks down there in Thomas County Central.
Yeah, well, the Veer's hard. I mean,
Yeah,
Thomas County Central, they beat a lot of people. So
they beat a lot of
really
folks.
nothing to hang your head there.
No, absolutely not.
If they could have won that game, I think it would have been a major upset.
It would have been an upset.
And the fact that they kept it that close, I think, is something to hang your hat on.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Then after that Thomas County Central game, we went over to Coffee County and played Trojans over there on their turf. That's become a big rivalry, Coffee County and Tift County.
It really has.
And anytime you go over there and try to play any sport, doesn't matter, football, basketball, tiddlywinks, what have you, it's tough.
Rock, scissors, paper.
Absolutely. That's a tough place to go play football. And we went over there and wound up a little short over there too, 24-7. But again, another great game. Our kids played great. One of the things we've done real well on this year, and I think I credit Coach Reed with his discipline he's instilled. We played a lot of penalty-free football this year. We've had some penalties, but it's been not the numbers that we typically
haven't been 15-yarders.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And you go over to Coffee County 2 years ago, and we had a big fight break out, and kind of a similar situation again this year. We had a penalty on the sideline, and you think the worst may happen, but our kids did the right thing. They the penalty and flag was thrown. They came back at our sideline, and we just lined up and played football again.
Well, and that's what people tend to lose sight of is in a game like that. We lose 24-7 over there in Coffee, and a guy like you. For what that's worth,
not much.
One thing you took away from
75 cents to buy you a Coke at Tennessee Nissan.
There you go. There you go. $4 if you want a snack, though.
That's exactly right.
Anyways, so with that said, a guy like you goes over there and watches this game, and what you take out of it is, we got beat. But here on the plus side of it is, we held our heads up high. We played with discipline where we haven't in the past, and that's what Coach Reed's bringing to this team, man. Right. That discipline and that strong sense of pride and self-control that we've been lacking, and we've got it now. Thank goodness, man. I'm just
I'm excited. And we were down, but we played all 4 quarters. We never gave up. And that's what I like. I mean, the kids are they bought into Coach Reed and his program and staff. They're excited. Certainly they want to win, but the little things, that's what's making the difference right now. And we're going to be better for it in the future.
Yeah, and during this program and this broadcast and this podcast, I'm going to mention big picture a lot, because in the big picture, it's the little small things that we've got to focus on to kind of keep the ship steering in the right direction. And that's what a lot of people seem to not pay attention to is the small things.
That's right.
It's a lot more than wins and losses a lot of times. So he's molding exceptional men, and that really should mean more to our community and society than whether they win or lose. He's pumping out good individuals and good young men who are going to be leaders in our community, and that is so important.
Oh, it is.
I can't stress it enough. So just keep in mind always the big picture in everything that we're doing in Tift County Athletics.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's not all about the W's and L's.
That's right. That's right.
You want every game to be a W, but it's not all about W's and L's.
If you have good guys out there, eventually them W's will take care of themselves.
They will. They
certainly will.
We're heading in the right direction.
We certainly are.
Definitely.
Well, with doing the right thing, let's talk about the transition between Thomas County Central and Moultrie. I'd be an idiot if I wouldn't mention this, but Binocular Gate or whatever Spygate
it's been referred to.
There was apparently a coach from Moultrie who the previous week, I think it was the coffee week, who had been fired by Colquitt, Coach Rush Probst,
right? And
he was giving signals allegedly. Today, apparently, they cleared him of all wrongdoings and whatnot.
Yep.
But he was apparently giving signals to the Lowndes County team.
That's right.
And they were obviously they beat Colquitt that week. There was some YouTube videos, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, we're talking about putting good men on the field, and this crazy mess happens in between these two games. It's just odd. And I think it's funny that they cleared him of any wrongdoing, but we all know there's something there.
I think going forward, I mean, that rivalry there, that's going to be a hard-fought rivalry from here on out, between Lowndes and Colquitt. And, I thought Probst's comments, calling Randy McPherson a liar and that sort of thing, it just added to fuel to the fire. And, oh, my, that's...
Rush does Rush things, man. He's a Rush being Rush, I guess.
That's exactly right. And
he's a fiery individual, man.
He is a very fiery individual. And then, of course, Coach Mack down there at Lowndes, he's very quiet. And he didn't have a whole lot to say about it.
Hold on now. He's quiet, but he's got some fire and intensity to him, too.
I'm not discounting his fire and his intensity.
He's just kind of subdued. He
is.
The few interactions and experiences I've had with him have been, he's not going to be demonstrative and he's not going to, show you up, but he's going to let you know that he's got some fire in him.
Well, I'm sure he's probably said a few things to you along the sideline here or there. I don't know.
He said a few things to, not to me, but about other people to me. So, and I actually walked out at the golf tournament down there in Valdosta. I walked with him for a few holes, and he and I had a good time, but he's a pretty good fella as far as a good guy. As far as coaches go, he's all right.
As far as coaches go, he's a great guy. He really is. Does a good job down there.
That's right. So, I guess that's all the recap. No, we got one last game here leading up to this week.
Yeah.
Big game. I'm gonna let you talk about it a little bit.
Were you talking about the Colquitt County game last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big game. Colquitt County comes in here, and we were certainly hoping to have a good battle with them, and we did. Good game. Colquitt County is just, I'll tell you, they're good this year.
Oh, yeah.
They picked right up where they left off from last year, and 49-7 score at the end of the game. But I'm on, our Blue Devils fought the whole game, and they didn't give up. And towards the end of the fourth quarter, they did manage to get a touchdown in there, and I'm proud of that. To go. I think Coach Probst was. That kind of hurt his feelings that we did finally score on him, because he wanted that big goose egg on the scoreboard at the end of the game, and we didn't let that happen. So I'm proud of that.
That kills me in football, man, is everybody's like just worried about keeping that goose egg up there when it's up.
That's right.
I was refereeing a game a few weeks back, and there was a situation similar to that, and the coach was kind of like, first defense, first D, and I'm thinking, y'all are killing them, man.
Yeah. Well, and Coach Probst did the same thing. I mean, we were down there on the goal line, and boom, they had the first defense in there, and that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, well, in this case, there was B teamers in, and then he put the first D back in, and man, you just let them kids need experience too.
Absolutely. You're going to win the game, so
yeah, be happy with a victory sometimes. But that's neither here nor there.
That's right.
I'm not getting into him, but yeah, Colquitt's a good team, man. They're sitting at 4-2, and they are a really, really good team.
Oh yeah.
And they get better as the year goes along.
They do.
They do. And it wouldn't shock me to see them in the Dome this year in the championship.
Absolutely.
Of course, it wouldn't shock me to see, 5 to 6 teams out of our region be in there. I mean,
exactly. Our region is just that good.
It really is that good.
Tough.
It's phenomenal. So we lose to Colquitt 49-7. And, that gets us up to par to this week's game. So, Donovan, I think we're going to call it quarter one's over with right here. So, we got the whistle blown.
That's right.
And we're going to drink a few waters and roll into quarter two here, get some Gatorade and get hydrated.
Right.
So, I don't want to cramp up during this.
That's exactly right.
And I'm not in the best shape in the world. I'm giving you a minute to think about that. I'm not in the best shape in the world. Yes, Randy, you're okay. You're fine. So, anyways, all right, quarter two. We want to wrap up kind of what's been going on, and we have really in the rest of the region. And I'm gonna roll through the records real quick.
That's fine.
Camden is 6-0.
Right.
Lowndes is 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them 2-0 in the region. Obviously they're the front runners in the region. Camden has not played Lowndes nor Colquitt yet.
That's right.
They have played Valdosta and beat them pretty soundly.
Exactly.
And they beat Coffee pretty soundly.
Right.
So we Camden plays Tift this week, and that's who we got. So make no mistake about it, we've got to go down there.
That's right.
And play them.
That's
and
right.
Just driving down there is exhausting enough, much less to play football on top of that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
What time are y'all leaving? Are y'all leaving Thursday, or I mean, it takes a while to get down there.
Today's Wednesday. I think we should leave maybe tonight after the show. You have to go through some woods to get there. It may take a while. I don't want to get lost. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So there's a lot going on down that way.
That's right.
So Tifton plays Camden. That's going to be. We'll look at that in our next quarter. And talk about that. So, or you want to talk about it now?
Well, we'll move. Let's just. You want to talk about it now?
It's up to you, babe.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about it now. It's going to be a tough game, And one of the things Coach Reed wanted to do, he knew that was going to be a long road trip. I'll kind of backtrack a little bit. When he came in, he really wanted to get the Booster Club back active and going and get some funds raised because, quite honestly, we didn't have a lot of money there to do a lot of things with. And Booster Club has become active again. We've raised a little bit of money, and one of the things he wanted to do was raise enough money to charter some school buses. Well, not charter school buses, but charter buses.
Yeah, charter buses.
And take the kids over there on the coach. And able to do that. I'm going to do that at Brunswick too. And I think that'll be great for the kids. That bus, school bus, right? That old yellow bus versus that coach is quite a different ride. So, kids should be a little fresher when they get there.
Well, let's put this in perspective a little bit. There's some kids that's going to get on that bus that have never been on a bus like that in their lives.
Not. That's exactly right.
That might be the nicest ride they've ever been on.
Amen.
So
Exactly right.
Keep that in perspective when we talk about this.
That's right.
People discount it all the time as it's just a bus. And man, to some kids, this is like a limousine ride. So
it will be.
That's right. Will be. So let's keep it in perspective, that's right. and that's a pretty big deal. It's wonderful that our community has reached out and opened their hearts and their pocketbooks to helping the program. So
everything that the community has done has been very appreciated. I do know that. I know that. So, but they're going to take the coaches over there. Planning on leaving around 2:30. They won't stop in Waycross and eat over there. I hadn't heard exactly where they're eating yet, but they want to eat in Waycross and don't want to wait too late to eat anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Coach Reed's plan is to arrive over at Camden County and get in about 6 o'clock over there and try to do a quick walkthrough and get prepared for the game. It's going to be a tough game. Everybody knows it's going to be a tough game. Camden, if you've watched them play this year, they're the real deal. I'd stack them up with some of the D1 schools out there probably right now. They got 200 or 300 kids and about 18 coaches. They're good.
They're real good. I know they have 4 D1 prospects. They've got 2 kids going to Georgia, including I think his name's Bryce Ramsey, the quarterback, and they've got O lineman going to South Carolina, and I think there's another one going to Clemson maybe. And don't quote me on that. I'm sorry. I'm normally a little better prepared than that, but 4 kids definitely going D1.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention there's several others who's going to go to college somewhere.
Absolutely.
They are a phenomenal team. I had them in the playoffs last year and the year before. And what's amazing to me, or neat, even as a fan, referee, or a coach, whatever, when you walk in on their sideline, they've got 5 big towering speakers lined down their sideline with just music just blaring.
Right.
And their kids are pumped up.
Oh yeah, they are.
And that can work in our favor too. You can walk out there and be just as pumped up as they are.
You can, and listen, that's why you play the game every Friday night. I mean,
yes, sir.
Anybody can be beaten. That's why you play the game. Great stadium over there. It's a neat stadium.
It is.
But Camden, they've played, I believe, 6 games so far. They 42-0 against Peachtree Ridge, 53-7 against school out of Florida, and then 55-0 over Johnson of Savannah, 48-12 Beach.
Beach, yep.
And then region starts. They beat up on Valdosta 43-6, and then Coffee County 35-12. So some impressive scores there.
Yeah, I mean they only put up 35 on Coffee and gave up 12 to them.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do something there. I don't know. Maybe somebody can in the region. If not us, somebody can. I want them to get beat.
But
I want them to do well too. That's
right.
Mean?
That's right. But they can be beat. Any team can be beat on any game.
Well, 2 years ago I was up there, and a team out of Atlanta gave them a half of football that obviously you got to play 4 quarters, but the first 2,
that's right.
They were socking them in the mouth and giving them a little trouble. In that third quarter, though, man, they made adjustments and just pulled away.
That's right. Well, you and I both seen games that Tift County's won they shouldn't have won. So
Definitely.
it can happen.
Definitely. I've seen it happen. So Bryce Ramsey, get there early. He can kick the mess out of the football. It's unreal how far this kid can kick the ball. You know, he can throw he only throws about 8 to 9 times a game, maybe.
Right.
I was there when he threw about 15 to 18 times a game.
Right.
And he can throw it too. I mean, he's really impressive.
That's
you can look at him and tell that when he needs to throw the football, he can. So
he's confident enough to do it.
But he can flat out kick it, man.
Right.
He just wow. That's what impresses me.
Yeah.
But big things going on this weekend down in Camden County on the coast over there.
That's right.
And we encourage you all to load up and head that way.
Absolutely. You know, that's the thing. You know, we need to get out and support these kids. We need to get as many folks over there as we can. Game time's at 7:30. A little bit of a drive. It takes a little over 2 hours to get there, but you know.
Did you say 2 hours or 2 days?
Well. Depends on who drives, I guess. You know, realistically, a little over 2 hours. You know, if you want
2 hours that feel like 2 days. There we go.
It will feel coming home. It'll feel like about a month.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
That's a tough ride home.
It's easier with the wind, though. I guarantee it'll be easier with the wind.
Oh yeah, so it's going to be a good ride home.
There you go.
It's going to be a good ride.
Great ride home.
That's right. That's right.
What else you want to talk about in this segment?
Well, I'll tell you what. That kind of gets us to halftime, doesn't it?
Yeah, that gets us at halftime, Donovan. You got to love the whistle.
Yeah, I tell you, all we need now is the band.
I guarantee his wife came up with that, not him. I know he's going to take credit for it. But
he's a smart guy, but
I'm sure she did. So, if not, I'm guarantee she's going to get credit for it either way from us.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly
because we know she's the brains behind this operation. Yeah. So. Anyways, well, that puts us at halftime. Typically, our format is we're going to review the week before, and then we're going to give a recap of the region, what went on.
That's right.
And then we'll go into our third quarter, which will be a player spotlight.
Right.
And we were going to put a player spotlight together, but we figured we would just take and let you guys go on our Facebook page and nominate someone. Or our Twitter feed, get on our social media and nominate somebody to be the player spotlight. You know, I know all you guys have somebody, your kid, cousin, relative, whatever, and nominate them, and we'll get some information on you guys. We'll get in contact with you, we'll put them in our player spotlight next week.
That's right.
And I think that'll be good for everybody.
Oh, it will be.
Everybody will be able to interact and be a part of this show.
That's right.
And that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Is giving back to the community, letting the community be involved in what we're doing.
That's right.
Being a bigger part of this program.
That's exactly right. And that's what we just want to promote these kids and get them as much publicity out there. And these kids love to see their name in the paper or hear their name on the radio. They love it.
That's right.
Some of them, they wouldn't admit it, but they love it.
That's right.
So that's what we want to do is lift them up. We want to know who you want to know a little bit more about, where their background and what their plans may be in the future and that sort of thing. So please go out there and give us some ideas who you'd like to see in our player spotlights.
Yep, definitely. So, all right, well, we'll call that quarter number 3 wrapped up.
Short quarter, man.
It was a short quarter. If they were all that way, sometimes
must be a running clock.
It's a running clock. We're going with the mercy rule here. So there's that whistle I love.
Fourth quarter.
So, and then in the fourth quarter, we're going to preview the week's game, and we jumped ahead and did that a little early this time. Right. But still, we can go through here, and we're going to talk about a couple of the teams that are in our region and kind of where they're sitting at on the year. Todd, you want to start?
Well, of course, we got Camden this week. We still got Lowndes. We still got Valdosta. We still got Brunswick. So still a lot of football left.
A lot of football left.
And of course, Lowndes is good as always. Valdosta is nothing to shy away from.
I think we're going to beat Valdosta this year.
I think this is another one of those years we're going to beat Valdosta, and Brunswick, we should be able to beat Brunswick. Of course, we got to go back over there. Another 2-hour road trip, but should be another good game. 7:30 start time on that one as well. Everything else is 8, but those two games are 7:30: the Camden County game and the Brunswick game. But we. Tough schedule still ahead of us.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's not an easy game in this region.
Yeah, there's not been an easy game all season.
All season, that's right. Well, yeah. I do want to point out that Tift County, their schedule this year is probably the hardest it's been in a few years.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that'll bode well for him come region play.
Oh, it will. It will. And I think as a coach, you probably want to have some tough games early on, non-region games. You really know more about your kids that way, what you've got to work on. Because let's face it, this is a tough region, and when you get there, you want to be prepared. And I think our coaching staff recognizes that, and I think that's kind of the game plan. And Coach Reed, he does have a game plan. He thinks things out. He's plans way ahead. He can tell you.
He's a gatherer, organizer.
Oh, absolutely. I guarantee you, he knows on February 1st what he's doing at 4 o'clock on February 1st already. So
good.
And it's getting prepared for the next season. He's a workaholic.
That's right.
He's a workhorse, and that's what he expects out of these guys.
What is your favorite Tift County rivalry?
Well, of course, going to Tift County High School back in the 80s, it was always Valdosta. That was the rivalry. But I think it's changed over the years. Valdosta spent a few years not doing as well as they once did, and I think Colquitt has become more of a rival, and Coffee. I think
Coffee snuck their way in there, haven't they?
Coffee has snuck their way in there. I mean, a lot of folks, years back, you didn't think a whole lot about Coffee County, but they grow them boys big over there.
they really do. I'm going to touch on that. In the 90s, we went to, and I can't remember how it started. We went over there, or they came over here. One of us started, I think we went over there and stomped their bushes, their hedges down. And, back in that era, a lot of that stuff didn't happen. It was just,
right.
We did things in-house to get kids pumped up, but we never went out and stomped on bushes and that kind of stuff. That wasn't really our MO, but, man, it was such a spirited win that, they every now and then kids need to lose control.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And we went over there and stomped their hedges, and I think the following year they come over here, and that's when they got on our tee in the end zone and started stomping on
That's
it.
That's
and
exactly
so it's been kind of right then. I think it kind of started a little bit.
Right.
It fizzled out, and then, like you said, recently it's just kind of come back.
Right. We're in football season, but I think some of it comes from basketball too, because there's been some close games between Coffee County and Tift County in basketball. And if you've ever get a chance to go over there for a basketball game, go, but be prepared. It can become a hostile environment.
Very quick. So the last time I went over there, I think there was some kind of ruckus that went on.
There's always some kind of ruckus.
Always some kind of ruckus. That's right. So with that said, now come our basketball season, we can't act that way, people. So anyways, Valdosta's always a rival. I think Valdosta's a rival with everybody.
They are. I mean, they got such tradition there. Wintersville, Valdosta and Lowndes. I mean, that's such a tradition down there. And I think as a region, everybody wants to beat Valdosta. They want to beat Lowndes. They want to upseat that Wintersville title down there, title town.
Yeah.
That they've got a bullseye on them. They always do, and
for good reason, man. They're really good.
Oh, absolutely.
Two good teams.
A lot of tradition in both Lowndes County and Valdosta, and everybody's got that's a target.
I know that. I guess the past 3 years, maybe longer than that, it seems like Randy Mack down there at Lowndes has at the end of every season there's been he's leaving, going to Florida State to coach, going here and going there, and being a fan of and a guy of the community at Tift County. You want to go down there and help the guy move. And
that's right. That's exactly right.
I mean,
that's exactly right.
But they do such a good job down there.
Well, honestly, I think he still lives in Live Oak, Florida.
Yeah, I don't
think he ever moved to Lowndes County.
That's what I understand too. So, I mean, what if? I mean, I don't know how your head coach can't live in your. You know what I mean?
I agree. But Live Oak's just across the line there, but still, you're not in Lowndes County.
Gainesville's only 2.5 hours away too, but that don't make me a Gator.
You're right.
So, although I may transplant after this weekend's game, so
I tell you.
Anyways, that's another podcast for another day
exactly
and
right.
another time.
Yeah,
so
somebody a whole lot more intelligent about that than me.
I would hope.
Me too.
Anyways, hey, let's talk about Brunswick real quick.
Yeah.
Because nobody does.
Well, and I guess in the history of Tift County football, we've never played Brunswick. So, we're going over there, their turf. We don't know what to expect,
I refereed their game last year. They threw the ball like 110 times.
Is that right?
I mean, I think they throw the ball twice as much as Colquitt does. And,
But apparently Colquitt runs the ball a little more now than they have.
They do. They do. They really do.
A little more balanced than ever.
Right,
So,
right.
But Brunswick does not. They just throw the mess out of it. Yep. And that can be scary a little bit, man.
It can be, you know.
Got
We
some
don't
tired
see that.
kids. Yeah, we don't.
We
There's
don't
some
see
kids
that,
tired
so-
from chasing the football down.
Absolutely. So it can be a challenge. You're
That's
right.
right. Well, Ware County beat them. I refereed them at Ware County a year or two ago,
Right.
and it was a really good game. But they threw it. The coach
Yeah.
said in pregame, he said, "I throw it literally 110 times a game." He said, "Last week we threw it 106,
Wow.
and I was disappointed." I was like, "Well, if I go down, I'm gonna need you to call Stevens Record Service in Tifton to drag me back.
That's
So
exactly right.
don't put me in an ambulance. Call a record service."
That's right. That's right.
So it's going to be interesting.
It
Like
will
I said,
be.
nobody's really talking about them.
That's right.
But
That's
they
right.
have a pretty good football team,
You know.
and they're sneaky. So
Well, you know, and I think they kind of overshadowed by Camden County being over there on the coast like that, and the region they've been in before they moved to Region 1. And, you know, that's why I think you don't hear a lot about them.
Yeah.
They've just been overshadowed by that Camden program.
that's right. So I don't know what to expect out of them, but I know they're going to throw it. So that'll be quite interesting. So how do you see the region playing out this year?
Well, obviously, I think Camden's going to be, you know, number 1 seed out of the region. I feel like Lowndes will probably be number 2. Or it could be Colquitt. I don't know.
Do you think Lowndes can hang with Camden?
It'll be a great game, I believe.
So no, you can just say no. It's okay.
No, I think Lowndes can.
You think they can?
I do. What do you think?
Well, after last week, I think they might be able to. I mean, they're two similar offenses.
They are.
And, I don't know. I think it may come down to who can throw the football
Well, you know,
in that game.
yeah.
And, you got to give that to the Georgia kid, Bryce Ramsey.
Yeah, you know, and honestly, I don't know where that game's going to be played, and that could play a part in it too.
It could. They got just as far to go as we do.
That's right, you know, and you go to Lowndes County and play in Lowndes County, that is just one unbelievable crowd down there, and the noise is just, you don't hear that noise anywhere else in the state.
It's a college atmosphere.
It is. It really is.
At the Concrete Palace down there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love
course,
officiating down there.
Yeah, but I hate to hear that guy say, "Move those chains." I hope they get a new announcer sooner or later.
Oh man, it was funny because I forgot where I was at. I was refereeing this year, and in a timeout, I went and talked to my buddy, and I said, all they need at this place is somebody to holler, "Move them chains," like they do in Lowndes.
That's right.
And I said, it was just, oh man, I'm like you, I can't stand it, man.
It gets
I
kind
hate
of
it.
annoying,
That.
like about after the first or second minute, it gets pretty annoying.
Well, if they wouldn't move the darn chains so much,
Well,
then-
maybe that's the problem.
That's right. So, anyway, so get back to your ranking. You said Camden, Lowndes.
I say Camden, probably Lowndes, Colquitt. That 4th seed,
It's up for grabs.
it's
ain't
up for grabs. I feel like it may be Coffee.
It might be. Very well might be. They kind of got the upper hand on us right now,
I think so, too.
having beat us.
Yeah, exactly.
But, there's a lot of football left.
There's a lot of football left.
And if we can get somebody in there to...
Yeah. Well,
we hadn't even mentioned about Austin in that 4th slot, have we?
No, and that's the thing, I mean, we play well when we play Valdosta. We play well when we play Lowndes.
We do. We certainly do.
Anything can happen.
That's right.
Anything can happen. I mean, we beat Lowndes a couple of years ago when we weren't supposed to on their own turf.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, that 4th spot, man, and that's what I guess probably as a goal that might be what we need to focus on is that number 4 slot.
That's right.
I mean, it's obtainable. It's doable.
That's right.
And
if you can get out of this region and make the playoffs, you don't know what can happen.
if we can go in there this week and just punch some people in the face, in Camden,
Get some respect.
Get some respect. That's right. You might put a little fear in some of these in the Brunswicks and the Valdosta, who's they're kind of like us, man. They're on the outside looking in, and they're sitting at their podcasts and television shows right now saying, hold the phone. I just
I just saw
read
that
the
too.
teleprompter down here, and oh my goodness, there's being stuff said about us online. It's not pretty. So
It's not. I'm kind of hurt. One feeling I've got is hurt.
I bring you into this podcast, Todd, and I get talked about. I mean, with my other partner in my other show, I don't get talked about, and that's odd to me.
Well,
So.
I mean, for the pay you're paying me, I can quit anytime.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, so you got these other teams outside looking in at this number 4 slot, and
That's right.
and they're talking about the same stuff we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that really is a goal that we can achieve, and not saying we can't finish third. And I mean, nobody's saying that.
Hey, that's exactly right.
That's
exactly
right. So
it's still wide open. Like you said, there's a lot of football left.
A lot of football left. So,
and somebody's going to surprise Camden one day. It could be us this weekend.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have to surprise Camden as much as you have to surprise. Somebody's got to surprise Coffee.
That's
somebody's got to surprise Lounge.
That's true.
And we missed the boat with Coffee, but we haven't Lounge.
No, we haven't.
So there's plenty of opportunity left.
That's exactly
a lot of
right.
football left, but what we are out of right now is time. So
really,
yeah, it goes by quick, don't you? Time flies when you're having fun with good company. They'll be here shortly.
Okay,
you can wait on it. Well, that's the end of our show tonight. Going to wrap it up, with a few things. That is the air horn, people. The game is over. Not a whistle, but an air horn.
Air horn.
It's about a 30-second air horn. It's as long as the ride is to Camden County. But we love doing this podcast. I've enjoyed it tonight.
Absolutely.
It's been great. We encourage you to watch it every week. Our man Donovan here will have it on YouTube tomorrow, I'm sure. You can watch it at www.anero.tv and replays there. YouTube, we'll have it up, put it on our Facebook pages, and our social media. And we want to grow this podcast, and it takes your guys' help to do this. So if you will, spread the word whenever we get it out there. And as always, we definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. And, I can't go without saying go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. That's right. Hey, one more thing. Please join your touchdown club.
Absolutely.
Get involved with these kids any way you can. Sometimes just a arm around the shoulder of a kid is enough to keep them involved in doing something.
That's right.
If they're out there involved in Tift County Athletics, then they're not out there, getting into some mayhem and mess.
That's right.
Please take some time and get involved with these kids and make them a part of your life, okay? Outside of that, I'm Randy Meadows.
I'm Todd Gann.
And go Big Blue.
This has been a presentation of the Anero Media Network. Your reality distorted.